Welcome to Securing Windows Server 2016 Virtualization. In this module, we're going to talk about how to implement server hardening solutions. One of the ways we can do that is to use a trusted platform module. So let's talk about what that is. A TPM, as it's also known, is an international standard for a secure crypto processor. This is a dedicated microcontroller designed to secure hardware by integrating cryptographic keys into devices. This is a separate processor on the motherboard, and it's not on all servers and workstations by default. You need to make sure when you buy your server or workstation that it has the TPM module installed. Now, just because it's installed doesn't mean it's already configured. You're going to need to configure it using the operating system and sometimes a third-party product. We use this to encrypt storage. We encrypt the data that's on your hard drive, and it's linked back to this processor that's on the motherboard. One of the nice things about the TPM and Windows Server 2016 is it can work with Microsoft's built-in BitLocker encryption software. If the storage is ever separated from the motherboard, the TPM chip will keep the hard drives from being read by anyone who steals them. We enable the TPM chip in setup. First, we need to enable it in the UEFI or BIOS, and then we need to enable it in Windows Server 2016. In Windows Server 2016 Hyper-V, we can now use what's called a virtual trusted platform module. This is also known as a vTPM. In order to make this work with Windows Server 2016, we need to make sure our Hyper-V virtual machines are Generation 2. And this is done during the setup phase of the virtual machine itself, which we demonstrated in a previous video. We also need to use at least Windows Server 2012 R2 or 2016 as our virtual machines. The host itself we're using is Windows Server 2016. We're in Hyper-V Manager on one of our virtual host servers, and what we're going to do is enable the virtual TPM or vTPM in order to allow encryption for our file servers. Let's choose File Server 2. So what we need to do now is to go to PowerShell after we turn off the virtual machine. We are unable to make any of these changes or even view those settings if the virtual machine is turned on at the time. So let's go ahead and type get-vm security, and then we put in the name of the server we want to check. And we can see that our TPM enabled equals false. So we want to change that. We want to allow that to be enabled. So now we need to enable our virtual TPM, and we can do that right in the GUI of our Hyper-V Manager. So let's go back to our virtual machine, right-click on it and choose Settings. And from here, go to the Security section and check the box for Enable Trusted Platform Module, and also encrypt the state and the traffic, so that way the traffic between virtual machines is also encrypted. Go ahead and hit Apply, click OK. Now let's go back to our PowerShell and hit the same command one more time, hit Enter, and we see now our TPM is enabled. We also see that our encrypt state and traffic is now enabled for encryption as well. The next thing we need to do is to install and configure BitLocker, which we will do in an upcoming video. Configuring virtual machines with a TPM allows extra security by encrypting the contents in case a physical host is compromised.